Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and it appears we have the outing of another possible Hollywood predator. You're probably familiar with comedian Jeff Ross through his numerous appearances over the years at the Comedy Central roasts. And before we even really dive into this allegation, the evidence, the denial by Jeff Ross, him saying that these things have now been investigated many times over the years, this case anyway, and that they have been disproven. I don't know that that's the case. This young lady has a compelling story, a compelling amount of evidence, and we'll get to some of the contradictions that are out there if in fact she is lying. But I do want to remind people, thumbs this video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmis Brigade. We are almost 55,000 strong, trying to get there. I want to remind you I am fully demonetized on this platform, so $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. Big donors, thank you so much for keeping this channel alive and allowing me to present my information in a coherent manner. So, as I've said, Jeff Ross has denied this. But before we get into Jeff Ross, I want to talk about a Comedy Central roast from back in 2016. Now, it's not quite 4 years ago that they aired this, but I actually had not seen it, and I think I came across it trying to go to bed a couple months back. What really shocked me about it is that for you guys that are out there and don't know, Rob Lowe, during like the, Brat Pack type years in the 80s, was caught up in a scandal where he was, taping a threesome and one of the girls was underage. Now, he claimed he didn't know she was underage, yada, yada, yada. Now, you would have thought they buried that in the Comedy Central roasts, and I get it, they go for the throat in those roasts all the time, but it was almost a highlight. I mean, it was almost a highlight how many times they joked about having sex with underage girls in the Comedy Central roast of Rob Lowe. And there have been people that have thrown allegations out against Jeff Ross, not firsthand, that, he's definitely a pedo. Well, again, I'm going to say this. He's denying what you are about to see. But this girl and this picture and the picture behind, it's a 12-minute video. There are points that are pretty hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. This girl's claiming that, not only did she have a sexual relationship with Ross for 3 years, beginning when she was 15, and have all this access, but that she was basically hired under the table at, I don't want to say the wrong comedy club, so I'm going to wait for her to say it. And she has all these pictures and all this evidence, and that's where it gets a little bit of a conundrum. If you said to me, well, this girl was just hired and hanging out with these people, there's no evidence that any sexual misconduct was going on, why isn't there a record of her working there? Well, because she was being paid under the table. And for you to at least not come out and say she was being paid under the table and admit that mistake and deny you even knew who she was when she has all of this evidence is extremely troublesome. So here we go. Yet another seeming story of a Hollywood predator.
This is a ticket, my ticket, to the Friars Club roast of Jerry Stiller from October 1st, 1999. I was born on December 2nd, 1983. I was 15 years old when I attended this roast. Back of the ticket. Jeff Ross asked Jason Steinberg to get myself and Gina Savage tickets to the roast. He could have easily gotten the tickets himself, as he's a friar and was on the dais, but didn't want it to seem too obvious by giving us the tickets himself. So Jason was kind enough, if you will, to give Gina and I the tickets. Gina would go often with me to things like this, in order to make it seem a little more normal. To my knowledge, Gina wasn't exactly aware that Jeff and I were engaging in anything sexual. but she is the person who gave him my phone number and didn't seem too surprised when she found out what was going on through my father.
So, right here, I want to stop it. And a lot of people come down on me sometimes because there are allegations, say, against Tom Hanks, right? Yet, that accuser's given no evidence, no names, no dates, no pictures, no documentation of what actually happened. Now, I don't know whether or not Tom Hanks is engaging in terrible behavior, but I know I haven't seen any evidence of it. In that little chunk right there, she presents a ticket to the event she was at. She presents names. She's about to present addresses, phone numbers, and a lot more. So let's continue.
Anyway, I don't know anything beyond that. But there's just the claim that Gina was with me at that roast. I'm wearing the same dress in the next photo. This was the first public photo ever taken of Jeff and I. This was taken at the Friars Club roast of Jerry Stiller, October 1st, 1999. Once again, I am 15 years of age. Please note where his hand is on my 15-year-old body, very close to my breast. I'm showing you the back so you can see I developed them and if I ever hung them up or anything. It's important to note that my relationship began with Jeff Ross on July 8th of 1999, and how far it went from July 8th, 1999 to October 1st, 1999 is insane. This next photo, please note the hat in the photo that Jeff is wearing. This is taken at my 16th birthday party in which my father and Gina Savage planned. This is my father, Ross Radke. There's Gina Savage. This is in Gina Savage's home. I do not know if Gina still lives there, so I will not give that address for her safety and others as well. I don't want to give out addresses unless I know people are gone. Let's see. So we have Jeff here. Please.
Let me just stop it again. So, again, we've now seen less than 3 minutes of material from this woman. And in less than 3 minutes, she's giving a very, very, very coherent story with very compelling evidence, with actual physical photographs. I think that's important, okay?
Again, note that hat. This is my 16th birthday. Vincent Nastri is in this photo as well. Vincent co-managed Jeff with Barry Katz. Barry Katz was my boss at Boston Comedy Club, and also Barry Katz Entertainment, in which I don't mention in the story below, but I was the secretary for on and off from the ages of 15 and a half or 16 to about 18. Yeah, so there we are all there at my 16th birthday party. Again, please pay attention to that hat. I'll lay that here. There is my father, very cozy with Jeff Ross. There's myself. There's Vincent Nastri at Gina's house, 16th birthday party. And I'm going to show you the backs of these. You see they're, nice and developed. This one I had hung up, so that's why it's cut. I'll put it in a frame at some point. Okay, so let's look at that hat again. Look at that hat. That hat, again, I think that was a gift from the late, great Buddy Hackett. I'm not sure, but it was extremely important to him, and there are many headshots with him in it and many photos with him in that hat. However, I also had keys to go in and out of his apartment as I pleased.
Keys to go in and out of his apartment as she pleased.
After a certain amount of time. So I wanted to try on the hat as well. And so Gina and I would often stop in when he wasn't in town. I had a lot of my clothes there. I had modeling gigs in that area. So I just stopped in and felt comfortable. So we used his Polaroid camera. That Jeff Ross had a Polaroid camera pretty much at all times with him. And he took inappropriate photos of myself and others. I don't have any way to back up the allegations for the others right now, and we'll explain that later, but a lot of very, very, very bad things were taken on that Polaroid camera, but also I would use that camera as my own like personal diary, and he didn't really know. So there is me in that same hat in his apartment at 300 Mercer Street, apartment 5K. Here's some lanyards from Just for Laughs, his messy closet, like a set list or something. I don't even know what the hell that is.
I just, again, want to say, look at the level of detail she's giving. And, you know, I'll say this. When I was a kid, I grew up a little poor, all right? And things were a little looser and sketchier then, and there used to be these shops you could go into where you would get certain types of, like, drug paraphernalia. I didn't know what I was there, but then, you know, all sorts of odds and ends. But back in the day, people would sell Polaroids of nude photographs of people, all right? That was an actual thing. And she's telling the story of basically, you know, this guy in his 30s, in the late 90s, taking pictures of underage girls and having sexual relationships with them.
There I am again in that hat in his apartment. And there we have Gina Savage in the hat in his apartment. Okay? Same day, same Polaroid camera. There's me in front of all of his tapes. If you were to really, really pay attention or really be able to look at this photo, you would see that these tapes are some of his, like, Tonight Show, you know, appearances, things like that. There's Gina very prominently in front of a Friars Club award of his. There's a photo. There's a painting that was in his house. Both of us took pictures of each other with that same Polaroid in front of his closet. And on the back of every Polaroid, there's a number, which I learned recently, one of the publications that I worked with, you know, that identifies the Polaroid camera or the film as being from the same film or the same camera. So we're working on trying to prove that it is from Jeff's camera. He had 2 Polaroid cameras, to my knowledge, one in LA and one in New York.
So that's some pretty crazy forensic stuff. She is looking for legal representation. And remember, I want to reiterate, Jeff Ross is denying these allegations, but look at how detailed the evidence is.
I didn't view it as weird because we didn't really have camera phones back then, but now it's pretty weird. I would use that Polaroid camera often, like I said, to take selfies or come back or like be silly with it as well, you know, kind of take back what it meant to have the camera or access to it. And so I would have this really cool makeup from modeling. I used to model, and I would go back to his apartment and not take it off and just show, like, take a picture of myself so I could show myself what it looked like. But if you notice this was a gift to him from me from a comedy show I produced for Toyota Comedy Festival called Man Candy Comedy. This is made of jelly beans and it had a fuzzy top. So yeah, this was taken in his apartment. Anyone that has ever been in his apartment knows about that lamp. It's probably non-existent anymore. It was made of actual jelly beans, but they've seen that from back in the day. Here I am in front of that same messy closet. And here I am in his bathroom with that Polaroid camera taking what is a selfie. Anyone who ever went to his house knows about that bathroom. Okay, so let's forward to Friday, October 6, 2000. I am 16 years of age, the roast of Rob Reiner. Once again, these tickets were procured, table 156 rather. These were procured through Jason Steinberg at the request of Jeff Ross.
I can't say it enough. You know, she's presenting a lot of evidence. This is called evidence. Physical, tangible stuff that can tie somebody to another person.
Here's Jason Steinberg, right here, with myself and Gina Savage. This is the roast of Rob Reiner. Again, I was 16 there. Also, during the time I was 16, Louis Schaefer, who is identified as the blue man in a blue blazer barking in front of the Boston Comedy Club in the piece below that I wrote for the New School in 2005. There was a going away party for Louis Schaefer. He was moving from New York to the UK, so we did a roast for him. So this photo was taken with one of my throwaway cameras, and that's Jeff and I. And this seems to be from, I think I saw a date on it earlier. I cannot tell, but I know I was 16 in this photo because I know when Lewis moved, which you can fact check that with.
Let me just say something right now. There's never going to be photographs of me in my 20s, in my 30s, and now in my 40s of me with a 16-year-old girl. Not her in my apartment, none of that. I think that, how old is my brother's daughter right now? I think she's just turning 16. I'm not huge into pictures. I'm pretty sure that that's the only teenage girl that's been in my life in the last 20 plus years. And that's normal. You know, obviously your family, yes, that's a different thing. But you have to ask the question, why in the world is he in these pictures with her? Why in the world is she wearing his hat? Why in the world is she in his apartment?
Louis Schaefer, if you'd like. Oh, here we go. Here's how I know the date. It's June of 2000. There were professional photos taken by Angela O'Neill. She gave these to me as a gift because she thought I would enjoy them. Thank you, Angela, for that. Angela didn't do anything wrong. I just felt I'd mentioned that these are her photos. The rest are mine. But this is me crashing Barry Katz and Jeff Ross's conversation. Barry Katz was my boss in all capacities and his manager. There I am at 16, June 2000. Lewis's going away party. So June 2000. Taken by Angela O'Neill. And then there we have Jeff Ross and I. Okay. And that's at Lewis's going away party. Again, I am 16 years old here. There's June 2000. Went to the Hugh Hefner roast. I do not have the ticket for that. I don't think I ever got a ticket for that. I might have been snuck into that. Who knows? I was 17 in this picture. Just feel it's important to note that while I was the legal age of consent in New York, I was 17 still, and we were still together. So there we are. I do not have a date for that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have a date for that, but you can look up the roast of Hugh Hefner. When I was 18, we went to Rockefeller Center, as mentioned below in that paper, for my birthday, and we celebrated at the Rainbow Room and then the Rockettes. So with his same Polaroid camera, we brought it out and took this photo. I'm going to show you some photos that may or may not mean anything to anybody. If you'd like, you may turn this off now. The majority of the photos that you need to see have been shown. However, there are some others I feel are important to outline due to outrageous claims people are making.
And this is where the claims, seem to be validated for me, because to try to say that, she didn't even work for this guy, Barry Katz, and she's just laid out a multitude of photographs and documentation that she was in this inner circle and that she was hanging out with adults inappropriately, Jeff Ross in particular, and making these type of allegations. And then they're going to say, well, we didn't even know this girl. I mean, watch.
First claim people are excuse me. The first claim people are making is that I did not work for Barry Katz, including Barry Katz. They say that I'm too young. I was too young to work for Barry Katz. How could I possibly have worked for Barry Katz? Well, number one, I got paid under the table $400 in cash a week. Gina usually gave me that money. Gina Savage usually gave me that money from the Boston Comedy Club's funds. There was New York Entertainment. There was Barry Katz Entertainment. And then there was Boston Comedy Club. So it was all under the umbrella of Barry Katz Entertainment Group. He had an office in LA and in New York. So this is me working. And there's actually a date on this photo, 7/30/2000. Once again, I am 16 years old in this photo. And I'm working at Barry's. You can tell I love Audrey Hepburn. There's my Audrey Hepburn background on computer, reading Variety. This was at 1776 Broadway, Suite 2010. Barry's no longer there. Hasn't been there in a very long time. There's my little headset. This is my desk, Here's me inside of Barry's office holding Jeff's Dr. Katz autographed photo. So you want to make the claim that I didn't work there? There's a couple of photos. A couple of many that I have. So keep going. There's just a candid that I have of Jeff. This is from, it looks like August of 2000. So there we are there at 2nd Avenue Deli, just a candid. I'm never going to see that anywhere else. Figured I'd throw it in. I don't remember the address off the top of my head. I know it's recorded somewhere on the record. And when I find that, he doesn't live there anymore, I'm sure it's fine to tell it. But in LA, he lived on Dokini near the Four Seasons, and he would often fly me out there. And this was the view taken with the Polaroid in LA. This was the view from his...
All right, so there's a second part to that that's a lot shorter. You got to make your own decision. You know, Jeff Ross is denying this, but let's ask some really basic questions, okay? Why would they deny she worked there? And don't give me the tax reasons. Why would she be in his hat in his apartment? I think, you know, she's provided a ton of evidence. And I just got to say, I believe that woman. I don't believe all women. I believe that one. So I don't know whether he's guilty or not. I'm saying he's denying any sexual allegations. But that's what you call providing actual evidence that there are links and there is a relationship there. And I think that that investigation should go further. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, share. Guys, $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors. Remember, we are fully demonetized on this platform. We only got a little bit longer in the month, really trying to push to get those donations up there. Make sure you're subscribed. You know, I lose subscribers when I run my mouth a little bit. When I do something people don't like. You're not going to love everything I say and do. You know, we're going to have differences of opinion. But hopefully you're taking my information and you're sharing it with others. And at least I present it in a way that is compelling and tries to, I would say, strengthen my point. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are available free right here, right now. You can see them in the documentaries playlist section. We're over on Rockfin, where today we did a free exclusive. You can sign up and follow me there. Stop telling me to wear a mask. I am not part of your mental illness. Go check it out right now. And we're also over on Minds, even though there's a blank screen. There's Jason Burmis, where you can also see me. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.